history.
Let's see. Was this in metauni dev?
Yeah, I think I posted the announcement there last night. This was just implemented then. Can you see what I'm looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way this works is this is a representation of the 4 boards in the Euclid area. And every time they're cleared, well, first of all, the persistent boards now track a clear count. So that integer increments every time they're cleared, and it's stored with the board and then restored when you load the server again. And then whenever the board is cleared, the contents that were about to disappear are now stored to a key that has it's the normal key for that board appended with some special symbol, a colon, and then the clear count. So then that remains fixed forever. So then the contents of the boards that you can see here will just stay in here forever.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems to work well. There's sort of some decisions to make around making it really work properly. So maybe that's an interesting thing to talk through. So one of the well, first of all, these are actually the persistent boards. They're using the same key as the ones that are in the world. So if someone were to jump into the world right now and I reloaded this server, they would show what's actually live there. But the problem is that if you clear, let me see if I can find an example. You don't always clear every board an even number of times, right? So maybe you only use 2 boards in a talk. So, for example, you can see this board was from the Spencer session today, which was after Euclid. And this board is from the Euclid session, but they're side by side. Really, what should be next to this board here is this board.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But, of course, I guess that means that this first board here was cleared more times than this board, so it got pushed further back. So I'm trying to think about a way of, what you really want to do, I guess, is actually see the boards in more or less the arrangement that they were in the world, because the speaker set it up so that you could understand what was going on. So you'd want that board to appear here, and then you just walk along them.
Oh, right.
I think it's not realistic to ask the speaker to remember to clear an empty board to sync it back up again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what exactly to do about that. And we could have the key be not tied to the board itself, but a sort of global clear count for the server, so that you see the boards in the order they're cleared, but you don't always clear the boards in the order they're written, so they may not appear in the right order. If at the end of a talk you maybe just run up and clear all the boards, right?
Yeah, it's odd to me that like the action that preserves them is to clear them, because it means you have to clear, like, before you leave the server, you have to clear the boards and then leave.
Yeah, that was something I didn't think about until just now when I was leaving the server, and I was like, oh crap, I better clear the boards. Yeah, I think that's right. On the other hand, I do want it to be automatic so that you don't have to sort of explicitly save it, because then you'll just forget, or you remember every other one.
Yeah.
And maybe there's not an obvious... of course the boards are being auto-saved every 30 seconds, but you don't want to put all of those intermediate versions up, and the clear at least indicates the board is done, right?
Yeah. You could have it on clear and then do bind to close to save the last ones.
I think that's right, yeah. One hacky way to get them... so first of all, the suggestion was to just not have the boards wrap around in the same way as the physical boards. It's a bit irritating to have to walk from here over to there. That's easy enough. So maybe I can do that right now. mean, we could put things in the world where you can, if you have enough privileges, insert a blank board or something. The way I'll show you what the code's actually doing at the moment. What I'm doing at the moment is just looking through all the keys for the ones that exist in the data store, and that's how I tell how far back in time to look. Right, so this is a script in the history place. So there's boards here. These have the same persistence IDs as the ones in the real server. So this just grabs all the boards, loops through them, looks for persistent boards, waits for them to finish loading. So the persistent boards, those primary ones, will load the content from the data store as it's being auto-saved in the world. So if you come into the history world, midway through a talk, you'll see what was on the boards 30 seconds ago, because that will have been auto-saved. So it waits for them to finish loading, and then so it'll look at each board, and then get the key that you would usually use for that board, append a clear count, then look for that key in the data store. So the change in the persistence for the actual boards themselves is where? Is it in here? Yeah, so this is the main place where clearing happens on the server, and you can see that here. So it gets the key for the board, appends the clear count, which is preserved across server restarts, and then stores. If I was just to get rid of this line, this would be what usually happens, right? This is the auto-saving of a persistent board, but you just happen to be doing that on clear instead of every 30 seconds, but it's saving it to this other key.
Okay.
So that's getting saved, and then yeah, I guess that's all of any interest that's changed in the board code, really. There was a slight refactor of the way persistence works. So it looks for that key, just incrementing the clear count to see. So low clear counts mean further in the past, right? So it's going to start at the very first version of this board that was saved historically, and then keep looking until it gets up to the most recent one, which will have the highest clear count. Then it remembers that clear count and then just goes backwards through them. So it starts at the highest one, starts going down, and for every one of those historical boards, it's going to make a copy. It'll copy some default board, put it in the right position, so that means that it offsets it from. So the historical versions of this board appear behind it, right, going back into the distance.
Okay. I think I just understood that all of these saved boards are tied to a physical board.
That's right.
I didn't realize that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so they're offset, they're initialized, and then their contents are restored with that particular historical board. This is just making some pretty grass underneath.
How does the restore work?
Yeah, so that's... So it's given a meta board, it's given a key, that's not so interesting. It's just whether the subscribers are given the contents at the beginning. So it gets the key, it just loads that dictionary, the JSON, then processes it. So board data is the serialization of the board contents. So it has the curves, it has the clear count, it has some other stuff.
I see.
And anything interesting happens in here.
Okay, so this is how you add a curve to a board. Right. Does it use a metaboard API, or are you like manually inserting them?
Oh, they're just manually inserted into the curves folder. Yeah, there's no API.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of reliant on the way that the current metaboards look in the curves folder to say construct what's on the GUI. So this is, yeah, I wouldn't say this persistence implementation at the moment is sort of a very clean division. It's very much dependent on the current implementation of the boards.
Okay.
Yeah, the trickiest thing in all of this is making sure not to hit sort of, slowing down the client on loading and making sure we don't exceed the data store limits on requests and so on. Apart from that, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, so that's more or less it. Yeah, so I think having them arranged here as they are in the world is kind of useful. Maybe I should even copy the terrain.
Oh yeah, that would help.
Yeah, I think the whole point of having things be visual is to make use of that. I'm always a bit when I'm pasting terrain, I can never quite get it to be the right height.
Yeah, terrain is tough to work with.
I don't really want it on those axes, but I think as far as I remember with regions, I don't have a choice about that.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do. I actually know how to control where it gets pasted. Let's see if I can. I can just do this.
Would it actually work?
Should do. Oh, okay. There's a plugin I can use to do it that I've used before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is pretty useful. Okay, let's give it a shot. Save. What? Oh. Well.
That's pretty good. Copied everything though.
Yeah. It might actually be alright, yeah. I can flatten it out in the direction they're going to go, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of entertaining. Yeah, why not? Right. But they're not in the right place now. Yeah, so I was thinking that these should stay as they are. but you do want to kind of peruse them. Well,
I think if we had enough boards, it would be cool if you could flip through them like a jukebox or something.
yeah, that'd be good. I wonder if we could just use the moving the camera to do that, huh? I mean, you could run around in them in the history world if you want to show somebody something, because it might be useful to go to a historical board and explain something, but it might also be useful to just be able to use keys and just go forward, 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 right, right, forward.
Right.
That would be neat. So these are not going to be actual boards.
We could tag them by like metauni day or by session and then have them searchable.
Actually, tagging is a good idea. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, that might help with the consecutive too. Actually, this is a feature for other purposes that I've been thinking about, which is we have this schedule, right? We know what times correspond to what events. It would be useful to have, I mean, for example, to be able to tag one of these boards that's saved. We know from what time it's saved, what session it belongs to, right? And that's information that would help various purposes. But I don't want to kind of be going into all these different places and editing that file, you know what I mean? So
Right. Wait, the file like for the times?
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I think we do need some central location for that, especially since like we don't have one shared universe for all of our places.
That's right, yeah. I guess it should be, I mean, what's the best, it could be a message, I guess, like no, but then we can't rely on any particular server running, right?
Yeah.
I guess there's
Probably need some external database.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, so I was thinking of having those dummies be there and then the actual boards kind of off but in a row so that they're easy to how do I copy and paste the orientation of a model? I often do that with parts, but maybe I just do it with that.
Should be it. Origin, position,
Yeah, okay.
maybe.
So then we can do this more elegantly, but one idea I had was to just draw a line from so you know that this port okay, that's actually a deep hole here without anything to block it, I guess. Because it'll be more convenient to see these stretching back in a way that you can linearly peruse, but knowing which board they actually correspond to is useful. Well, actually, now that I think about it, maybe those dummies shouldn't. Anyway. Okay, so I guess let's just try that. Don't know what happened to my spawn location after all that terrain. Yeah, so we have an external database that you can query to find out the times. I guess the servers can just run that once on startup and then cache it. And then we can tag these with what session they're from. Is it?
The website could also query it too.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. What went wrong?
How is the bot that moves you between Discord channels? How is that hosted?
Oh, the database is on Replit.
Repla? I've not heard of that.
Oh, Replit. Replit.com, it's like little servers. It's basically like AWS, but you spin up simple servers for coding projects, and you can host a database on it.
Okay.
It's actually really cool. I'm a big fan of Replit. Oh, this looks pretty good, yeah. I mean, cut out those mountains, but...
You could have the board cut out air, like assign the terrain around it to be air.
Yes, good idea. Let's do that. Yeah, at the moment it's using... so that's fill, I think, right? I think I can just...
Yeah, fill part, maybe.
Yeah, okay, so local... Oh, I don't want to cut down too much. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I can fill around a part. So
Oh, right, song spires.
yeah. This I have done plenty of times.
Did you reach a conclusion with spawn or for song spires?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with it the way it is. I'm not Phil Ball. I quite often just have it when I start my work day. I just start it running on some other machine, and then it sits there, and it's quite entertaining because I can tell what time of day it is roughly by what the sunspires looks like.
That's cool.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it. Okay, so board C-frame. Is there an elegant way to do that? I often just do something like this.
Oh. There's a board clone dot size. Oh, it's a base part.
Wait,
I don't think that works. What's the second half of the line?
Primary part. I mean, if it's a model, I just grab its primary part and take its size. But I mean, there's get pivot, which will return the C frame. You know, basically does exactly this code, but for the C frame, right? But I don't know if there's a shortcut for the size. It's okay if not.
I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, you can get the entire size of a model using get extents size, but it's like it only applies to a model. It doesn't double as for a base part.
I see. It's 3, I think. Yeah, I'll try that. I'd have to tweak that a bit depending on how high it is off the ground. I think these boards in the front should probably be kind of ghostly.
Oh.
Looks pretty cool, but fill block board C-frame. Maybe this doesn't. I think that's what I've used historically.
Yeah, this should work.
The size multiplier is kind of bigger than I usually do, but that should make it more obvious, not less. Okay. Yeah, I think it's definitely better to have it in the actual world than something like the original world.
Yeah, for sure. Oh wait, what's the replace material beneath it? Oh, that's just material though.
Yeah, that'll replace any grass by leafy grass. That's all.
Oh, okay.
I mean that could just go away. It doesn't really do much. It was just because in that particular place I had it before. It was all grass.
Right.
I don't really understand that. Maybe board size is something stupid.
Didn't even print.
It's still going.
Oh, okay.
The size looks about right.
Do they have to be like on a 4x4x4 grid?
Oh, that's
I
right.
think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I think you're right. They don't
Oh,
have to
really?
be, but it's gonna probably clip to that, and this width is too small.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's it. Yeah, good point. Okay, so can I manipulate the Z itself? I think so.
Yeah, if you multiply it, oh, well, you can't directly do that, but you can multiply it by another vector.
Or just add to it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, or that too.
Is it just a? It's just a vector 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that.
Oh, that looks like it's working.
Yeah, it's working. There we go. Should really it should fill in the gaps in between them if you want.
Yeah.
So we just need to add something to, I guess it's, I don't know what size that is that's sticking out towards us.
Yeah. And, right, yeah, offset the C-frame.
Yeah, that's right. That's pretty entertaining, I have to say. Oh, I guess that's another problem. Maybe it should fill in the terrain underneath so that you can, instead of replacing material, it should just, it should do that and fill in some terrain underneath, so if it keeps going off the world, you get to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Thank you. I guess the way to cheat is just to look at this. Nope. Yeah, so we need to make, I want this to be a little wider because we need some space on the sides, right? So X should have a bit of a margin, and this should be half the distance, and the distance is 40, so I want to add, I don't know if we really need a factor there. It's just, well, in fact we don't need that at all, right? It won't work for arbitrary other boards, but that's okay. So this wants to be, I guess, 40. That's up. Yeah, I guess let's make that. Oh, but I don't want to cut in.
I think it is easier.
Sorry?
I think it is easier if you start with the board size and then you just add padding around it.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Okay, so this we need to add 40 in the up direction. We're going to replace the floor underneath it, right? So we don't need to worry about that. So there's that 20, see how that goes. And then let's use this, not replace material, but okay.
Hey guys.
Hey, Billy.
Hey. You a father
Not much
yet?
happening.
You a
Not
father
much
yet?
happening today, actually.
No? Well, it'll get really interesting really soon, I guess. I hope everybody's okay.
Yeah, we're good. What are we working on here?
It's entertaining. Let me just run this. The history boards is working. Okay, so this is a copy of TRS with all the stuff removed. These are the Euclid boards, and then it's going to start loading in the historical versions. These are all every time a board is cleared, so this is the most recent clear from Kenneth's session, and then from Spencer's session, Spencer, Euclid this morning.
Bulldozers.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, there it's going on this one now. That'll just cut a hole through the mountain. Oh, that's too bad. Ran out of boards. There we go. Oh, it must have... Did it do it and just... It's inside the rock? No. There we go.
You should insert some explosions.
Okay, so we were. I think those margins look pretty good, yeah. Oh, maybe it could be a bit wider. Yeah, you're kind of squeezing past at the moment.
The scale. What's the scale?
Yeah, so we're adding a margin on the left and right hand side of. So this fill block. So the size of the board, and then there's a 20, I guess 10 on each side. Stud margin. Maybe it should be twice that. Let's start 30. Okay, and the other thing was, once you start getting out off the edge of the world, you'll want some terrain to actually walk on to keep watching the boards. Maybe it should be a bit wider, huh? Because this will be your margin of error for falling off the world in a minute. Okay, and then underneath we want to put. Guess we'll still use that C-frame, but we want to move it down. Okay. Let's see if I can get the C-frame logic correct live. That'll be interesting. Should be that direction by the size of the board plus let's try that. I want it to be same width, height, or whatever. 40, 45. Let's try.
So wait, is fill block the thing that removes terrain, or does it add terrain in some way?
There's no difference. If you replace it by air, then you're removing terrain.
Right. But you don't.
Oh no.
What? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I forgot a negative number in there.
So you're trying to make a walkway in case it in case there's nothing underneath.
That's right. I actually want to replace the terrain like I was doing before. That was good. Yeah. Okay. I guess it's not disturbing at all to have that hanging over your head.
I never use two world space. I can never remember like which goes in before the colon and which goes in the parentheses.
Yeah, right. I think it's kind of misnamed. I think I'm always thinking the other way around. Because this takes an actual offset and puts it. Yeah, I guess I'm thinking when this goes here, I'm thinking from that coordinate system. So yeah, I also.
So isn't that just times?
Maybe. Don't ask me that.
Yeah, you just started the board C-frame and then you multiply by terrain offset. So multiplication is like start on the left and then make the adjustment on the right, right?
Yeah, but that'll
Wait,
be.
it is, yeah.
No, but that'll be offsetting it by that much according to the world coordinate system. this is first transforming this into the coordinate system of that, and then, I mean, yeah, I think it's not the same. But
The docs show that this is equivalent to board C-frame times terrain offset.
oh yeah, okay. But that's
I'm one.
that's
Why does this exist?
Get wrecked.
yeah. You win. Okay. Because I thought, well, that's what I did when I wrote this code up here. I did that, and then it didn't do the right thing. So obviously I did not do that. Strange.
When you say translate it into the coordinate system of the thing on the left, like, are you saying that involves some like stretching or something? Or
Oh, no.
Scale size?
No, it's just purely orientation. Just so that an increment in the y coordinate actually means the y in the y direction of the of that.
That's how I understand multiply to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're composing, say, like a rotation or something. You start with the first rotation, and then you apply the second rotation. And then if all rotation or translation, I guess.
It actually work? I don't think it's.
The thing it's filling in is too far down, so it's underneath the.
Yeah.
So this needs to go up a little bit. I got the logic here wrong. Okay, so it's going to be 20, so that's 10 up from. I don't know why that's 20. Where did this come from? I did something funny.
Well, that's the height of the grass part, right?
Yeah. Why? I don't know why I picked 20. It's because it was half of 40, but the y margin is now 30. I can make it larger, or just move this.
Oh, I think you want to do half of the board size dot y.
Oh yeah, right. Thank you. I'm still not sure about that 20, but we'll see. Yeah. All right.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Now there's this crazy trough there. That's because that first number was not matching. This what?
What are those two translucent boards at the front?
Oh, there. Yeah, I'll explain in a second. Sorry, I want to. Oh, because I forgot about board size, right? But now I don't want to mess with these numbers. Okay. Am I just gonna do something gross and hacky? Yeah. This is a live stream after all, so the standards are low. What was the size of this? 41. So that was going to be 41 plus 40. So let's just make this.
You're a menace.
It's going to be just too short, I reckon. know why. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just do 80. Obviously, that was the correct thing to do. Okay, I can do it properly, but then I'll have to reverse engineer this 20, right? Okay, so if I do board size here, well, why am I even doing board size? I mean, I don't care about the vertical amount of the board size, so really I just mean board size X plus 40, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And here, I do want an extra margin because I don't want those funny artifacts. So let's just say board size dot z plus 40 plus 45. I think that will escape Ethan's condemnation.
I gotta live code one of these days just so you guys can do it back to me.
Yeah, that's right. Then you'll just do it better than me and I'll feel worse.
No, I don't know.
Alright. Oh, what?
Nice.
Done. Yeah, I guess I can't escape it destroying the river. That's fine. Okay, that looks good. Okay, let's see how it is to walk on. Rut roll. Okay. Looks pretty well. To answer your question, Billy, so if you're looking from board to board, from left to right to follow the historical talk, it's quite inconvenient if you have to go from board 2 to board 3, but it was 20 days ago, so board 2 is down here and board 3 is over here.
Right.
So I've drawn these little, maybe there's a better way, but I drew these little paths to indicate the connection, and then if they go linearly back,
Right.
that was
Cool.
the idea. Yeah.
Very cute.
Well, we just need some more boards to make some tunnels. Okay. What's the time? Maybe that's a good place to stop. Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. Okay, well, that's looking pretty good. Any other obvious things we should add to this for later? Ethan and I were discussing earlier, Billy, that it would be useful to tag these historical boards with which session they belong to. So maybe we can hang this off the Discord bot or some other database, a way of querying like the actual schedule to figure out like a tag per session that can be applied to these things. So you can say search for the
Alright, like Euclid and metauni day 10 or something.
Yeah, the date is already in the metadata for the key. So that, I guess I'll probably annotate these boards with a little information thing up the top which tells you the date that it was recorded. So that's already easy, but the session itself is not information that can be easily inferred without a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks guys. I'll stop the recording there. I guess we can